You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. The Long Island Railroad is proposing a fare hike and new changes to electronic tickets. Now, the MTA is looking to increase the cost of an LIRR ticket by more than 4%. The proposal also says riders will be required to activate e-tickets immediately, or they'll face a $2 fine. We'll hear from Newsday transportation reporter Alfonso Castillo about this and other new changes coming to the railroad in just a moment. And the NYPD says the gunman in the deadly Manhattan shooting got the weapon from his boss. Shane Tamura works security at a casino in Nevada. The 27-year-old also allegedly bought the vehicle he drove cross-country from that same boss. Now, police say boss has not been charged, and cops also say Tamura shot and killed 4 people in a Manhattan office building on Monday. And first in Newsday, a marijuana dispensary in Southampton may be forced to close before it even opens. State officials say the Birchwin and Test dispensary is too close to the Tuckahoe School. The State Office of Cannabis Management had previously told dispensaries they could not be within 500 feet of school's ground. Now, the law actually requires the distance to be measured from a school's property line. More than 100 dispensaries across the state have been affected by this. And first in Newsday, a Long Island retirement community has a new name. The harbor site will now be called the Sinclair. The Port Washington community was bought out of bankruptcy in May. The new owner is planning $28 million in renovations for the place. All right, let's take a quick look at tomorrow's weather, shall we? Because it was a scorcher of a day today. You can see we'll be in the 80s. We do have some scattered thunderstorms in the evening. Of course, we'll have that 7-day forecast for you later in the broadcast. The LIRR is proposing some new changes, including fare hikes, e-tickets, and rider perks. Newsday transportation reporter Alfonso Castillo tells us more.
The MTA, as part of their fare adjustment proposal, unveiled a bunch of proposed changes to Long Island Railroad tickets. Probably the most notable is changing the way validity times work on the railroad. This is going to be a real big change, both for e-ticket users and paper ticket users. The problem is a lot of riders wait until the conductor comes around to validate it with the hope that he doesn't come around and you get a free ride. You can save the ticket for the future. Going forward, once you buy the ticket, it is automatically validated and it will be active for 4 hours from when you purchase it. And I'm told that that's going to go for paper tickets as well. There are a lot of other changes to Long Island Railroad tickets coming. Some good, not so good. Overall, it's going to be a rate increase. Tickets are going to go up about 4.4%. There's going to be a cap on monthly tickets at $500. That's been in place for a number of years. But some new discounts and incentives coming. They're creating a day pass, which is basically the cost of 2 one-way tickets. And rather than just your round-trip ticket being good for 2 trips, you'll be able to use that all day within the zone that you buy it from. Another big improvement, senior and disabled fares, which are half off, are going to finally be accepted in the morning peak. Forever, the Long Island Railroad didn't accept disabled and senior fares during morning peak hours. Another thing, now after you buy 10 trips on the Long Island Railroad, you get an 11th ticket for free.
The Trump administration could roll back a rule that limits greenhouse gas emissions from motor vehicles. Virginia Huey explains what that could mean for Long Island.
If finalized, today's announcement would amount to the largest deregulatory action in the history of the United States.
Speaking in Indianapolis, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin said the Trump administration is moving to revoke a scientific finding that gives the government legal authority to combat climate change. Zeldin said the EPA plans to repeal the landmark 2009 declaration known as the endangerment finding, which concluded planet-warming greenhouse gases pose a threat to public health. Zeldin said the proposal would erase strict limits on greenhouse gas emissions from cars, power plants, and factories.
We at EPA must choose to both protect the environment and grow the economy.
Repealing it acts like these emissions don't matter.
Some environmentalists say the Trump administration's position flatly denies scientific evidence of climate change. Adrian Esposito points to last month's deadly flooding in Texas and says there's plenty of examples of climate change on Long Island.
Long Island is in a very precarious situation. We already have flooding, not only in bad weather, but in good weather when the moon is full. We have an expanded tick season where people are getting more tick-borne diseases because of warmer weather. Brush fires that have gotten out of control because of drought conditions.
To repeal all of this now is just going to make it harder for us to end up surviving.
Colin Palmer of Jamesport says he's seen the impact of flooding and hurricanes in his own backyard and opposes the EPA proposal.
The fact that Lee Zeldin is from Long Island should understand these problems.
The EPA proposal must go through a lengthy review process, including public comment, before it is finalized, likely next year. Environmentalists vow to challenge it in court.
Climate change right now is not just hurting us, it's not just an inconvenience, it's actually killing people.
For Newsday TV, I'm Virginia Huey.
After the mass shooting in Manhattan, some workers and companies are reevaluating security procedures and active shooter training. Flying Aces is a security company based on the island that conducts active shooter training and demonstrations. Sometimes use live actors to help employees learn how to better protect themselves.
We try to give them the tools to survive a situation or a disaster.
That training is modeled after the Department of Homeland Security's Run, Hide, Fight model if there is an active shooter like was seen in Manhattan. Experts say images on social media of barricaded entryways and employees hiding in the building where the gunman was shows good training. Something former Homeland Security advisor for New York State Michael Balboni says is more important than ever.
The Department of Homeland Security has been championing for years and years an active shooter training ever since Columbine.
Drones and our statistics that we're watching all of our employees and making sure that they're accountable for their production.
This is technology that's keeping people safe.
That's correct.
Joseph Sorty from Strategic Security in Smithtown says buildings and companies should consider better technology to prevent active shooters, but admits it can be expensive.
But these are a significant investment, but it's a capital improvement investment that you're investing in someone's life.
And some companies on the island are even adding active shooter response kits to the workplace that contain everything from emergency medical supplies to tools to barricade yourself in a room safely. It's something security professionals hope more companies will consider.
It's as important as an AED.
Andrew Enger, Newsday TV.
Now we continue our year-long investigation on Long Island's dangerous roads. And today we're focused on one of the deadliest months when 32 people were killed in August of 2023. Jim Bombach reports.
It feels like two people were just erased out of this planet.
Dozens of Long Island families devastated by deadly crashes.
Somebody left somebody in the road like garbage, come on.
In one of the deadliest months on Long Island roads.
I was this close to dying. There's no other way to say it.
Ismenia and Odalis Urania were killed by a drunk driver on their way home from a date night dinner. Their daughters, ages 14 and 8, were home sleeping.
Instead of their parents coming home, a police officer comes to the door.
Chris Marie Rodriguez has been caring for her sister Ismenia's children since the crash.
Mom and dad, gone. One day they were here, the next day they're gone.
2 years later, the family they left behind is still trying to adjust.
Are we in survival mode? Absolutely, still. Nobody knows the aftermath. There's like 7 steps of grief. Where I'm at today, survival. I'm just trying to survive.
The crash that killed the Uranias happened here on this Laurel Hollow Road in August 2023. That month, 32 people lost their lives on Long Island roads, among the most of any month in the past decade.
It's heartbreaking to hear statistics like that because so many of these accidents are preventable.
And the people that are impacted by it, it's just random.
State records obtained by Newsday show victims ranged in age from 6 to 90. They died in cars, on motorcycles, riding on an electric scooter, and on a tricycle. Others were jogging and walking. 72-year-old Lydia Simonelli was one of them. She was run down by a hit-and-run driver walking from a bus stop to an exercise class in Lake Ronkonkoma.
That day still gets me aggravated because I told her to take my car the night before and she took the bus. Every morning I come out, I see my sister out there.
Also that month, a driver high on drugs speeding over 100 miles per hour rammed a car stopped at a red light in East Massapequa. The crash killed 4 people, 3 of them children. Michael McManus was in this car when the crash happened right next to him. We showed him the video for the first time.
Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. So I'm actually...
Escaping death by a few feet has had a lasting effect on Michael.
All of a sudden, it felt like a bomb went off and, windows shattered, glass was everywhere, and there was just a giant explosion. To this day, I'm sitting at an intersection and I do have I almost like can close my eyes and feel like an impending impact or like just an explosion or like I'm anticipating a bomb going off.
Prosecutors say it's not the roads that are dangerous, it's the people.
You could create the perfect road, but until we, as humans, adjust our behavior, we're not going to eliminate these horrific fatal crashes. Every time I get into a car, anytime a member of my family is getting into a car, I'm worried because not knowing who's on the road with them and knowing from my own experience that there are drunk and drugged and reckless drivers at all hours of the day on every roadway.
Nothing's going to bring these children back or these parents back. I need people to understand and the world to understand that your actions could destroy somebody's life for generations.
Jim Baumbach, Newsday TV.
My name is Jay Capone, and volunteering to me is using my actions and my talents to have a profound effect on my community. I volunteer with Friends of the Bay doing water quality research. We collect water samples and test them to see how clean they are and the conditions of our bays. The great thing about Friends of the Bay is that I'm helping my local waterways and my local seashores. Volunteering isn't entirely self-sacrificial. I do get a lot out of it. I get a lot of camaraderie hanging out with the people on the boat, and I learn a lot about our local waterways, what we're doing, why we're testing the things that we're testing. I grew up here in the town of Oyster Bay. I spent its summers swimming in the waters and kayaking. I spent winters combing the sands. Finding a way to give back to the place that has shaped my childhood, it just feels right. By volunteering my time, listen, I love kayaking, I love swimming in the water, and I want to make sure that other people get to enjoy leisurely recreational activities on it as well. But it's not just humans who enjoy it. It's the horseshoe crabs, it's the fish, it's the birds that eat the fish. They get to enjoy this just as much as we do. Volunteering to me, it's about keeping Long Island wild and beautiful. It's about getting your feet wet, and it's about working with your own community and helping that out. Well, there's that saying, a man doesn't plant a tree for himself, he plants it for the future generations that will live under its shade. By doing research and observing the trends in the water quality, I can make sure that we help keep the water clean for future generations.
All right, let's take a closer look at your 7-day forecast to see how hot it will be for the rest of the week. Check it out. Those are the 80s. Remember those? Thursday, Friday, we have some rain and thunderstorms to deal with, but Saturday and Sunday is going to be beautiful with 80s and 82. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it looks like we are not in the 90s anymore, thank goodness, but it's going to be a nice week as soon as we get through Friday.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Sun Nation Energy, helping Long Island homes and businesses save with solar for over 20 years.
You're watching Newsday TV. For more on all the stories you've seen here today, head over to Newsday.com. I'm Ken Buffa. Thank you so much for joining us.